Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a really special knife consult for you tonight. I have some very special Peter Rassenti knives on the table. If you have followed my channel at all, you will know that I am a huge Peter Rassenti fan. My very first YouTube video was a sort of a review on the Spyderco Nirvana. That was really where I learned about his knives, and that spawned into a love of all of his knives, especially the Nirvana. This is a full custom Nirvana 2.0. There have been two versions. He recently actually announced there will be a third version coming out sometime. Actually, it's already out. It's coming out right now. So it's awesome for me to get my hands on some Peter Rassenti knives as he has this new information, this news coming out that the Nirvana's coming back. But I wanted to talk about some of the other very special knives that he's made over the course of his career. One of the very special knives I featured recently was the Snafu. He had the original version, now he has the 2.0. A sort of a hybrid of that, the Snafu sort of spawned into the Satori a little bit, a flipper, sort of tactical gentleman's carry, and then this is the small Satori. So he's got these different sizes that he likes to make, and so that sort of brings me into the knives that I'm talking about today. We can't forget to say that Peter Rassenti's signature touch is the fact that all of his knives are integral handled, and that means that they are folding knives that feature a solid piece of titanium as the handle. As you can see here, there are no openings or anything. They are solid blocks of titanium that all feature these amazing designs. And so I'm going to go ahead and just show you all four of these right now, but I'm going to move my two knives, these two, off the screen so that we can focus on these. These two come to me by way of my good friend Greg. I call him G. He's a good friend of mine. I actually met him on a trip to San Francisco. He lives out there, and he helped me out while I was over there, and he was really, really cool to me, and I found out he has the coolest collection of Peter Rassenti knives, and these are two of the very most special pieces in that collection, and I wanted to talk about them. So right here we have the Pebble, which is a prototype, very small, 2.75-inch version of his knives right here. This is a prototype, and there are only 4 of them in the entire world. I didn't know this was a thing until Greg showed this to me, and it's incredible for me to find these new and amazing things that Peter has done, and just shows me sort of the breadth of what he can do as a knife maker, and it's very cool. And this one right here, this is a very, very rare piece. This is the Hogosha. This is a collaboration with John Barker Knives. Here you can see the Barker Knives logo, and it is absolutely incredible. I have seen some of these in dressier forms for sale on some custom knife websites for ungodly amounts of money. He got a very good deal on this, and I'm very, very happy that he has this in his collection. So I wanted to go over some of the details of these two knives and just learn about them, because these are so rare. You may not have even heard of them, and you may never see one again. And certainly I have been wanting especially to get my hands on this knife. I've seen a couple of them out there, and it is beautiful, and it's everything I wanted it to be. So let's go ahead and start with the little guy right here. I'll go ahead and bring out the ruler. We're going to get some vital signs on both of these guys. As I mentioned before, it's basically a 2.75-inch blade, maybe 2.8-inch blade right there. It's about 3¼ back to the pivot, and you're looking at about 6 and 6.8 inches overall, so under 7 inches. Quite a small package. The handle is coming in at about 3.9 inches, and the grip area is right at 3½ inches. On the weight, this little guy is a bit heavier than small knives like this, so right at 2.8 inches, and we're coming in at 3.8 ounces, so not ultra heavy. While I've got the scale out here, we'll see what the big brother is weighing in at, 5.4 ounces, so neither of them are too bad. That's what I love about these integrals. They seem solid, but they're not overly heavy. Right here on the Hogosha up here, we've got a 4-inch blade, that amazing tanto grind. We're about 8¾ of overall length and 4.3 back to the pivot. You've got a 4¾ inch handle, and you have 4¼ inches of grip area. This is the full size. This is the full size Rassenti experience right here. So speaking of which, I'll go ahead and bring back out my Nirvana and show you that the Hogosha is the full size. But what you can see is that the smaller one here. This little guy is actually smaller than the small Satori. The Pebble is considerably smaller even than his small series. So it's very cool to me, and I wonder if there's any way to encourage him to build more of these. I wonder if the market is strong for these. Leave some comments down below if you think you would go for a small integral like this from Peter Rassenti, and let's see if we can make it a thing. I will move these guys again off the screen. Let me bring out another couple of common knives so you guys can see what these sizes really are. Here's a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, basically the same size as that big one. And then you have a Para 3, which is much bigger even than the Pebble right here. So very cool to see that small size. So let's break these knives down anatomically and see what we're working with. This Pebble right here, in fact, both of these knives feature CTS XHP steel. On the Pebble, you've got this amazing sheep's foot style blade shape. I really enjoy that there's a divot right here. What I found is that in the hand, it's wonderful to put your thumb there for push cuts, but it's also great, and I've talked about this in some recent videos, that this draw cut form right here is something that is that I do pretty frequently. And with a sheep's foot style blade and my finger right there, it's an ultimate EDC style small flipper, very practical tool, and it's amazing in that way. I really enjoy this blade shape, and of course it's beautifully finished with a hand rub satin on this flat and a hollow grind here with the machine satin finish. It's got a very cool swedge up top there. That reminds me of some other knives, but it is a very cool look to it. It gives it a nice aggressive tip right there. I like it. This prototype maybe doesn't feature some of the other things that could be happening in this area right here. Moving back to the pivot, this thing is running on these very nice custom pivot hardware right here. There looks to be a Zerk pivot collar on both sides. Very classy look right there. Of course, it's running on ball bearings. It's incredibly smooth. Peter uses GTC bearings, at least he did for a long time, and these are very, very smooth, very nice, very good action. His detent is always dialed in. This is a flipper-only deployment right here. Very crisp and very fast action. Very crisp detent and very fast action. Very smooth on the closure. Very, very nice. Fun to play with all day. Definitely fun to play with. Moving back to the handle, this is a fully integral piece of titanium, as I mentioned before. Nicely contoured. It's a very interesting way that this is milled here out towards the back, so that the back of the handle actually fills the hand a bit more. I will say, looking at it from this angle, it has a certain resemblance to a part of the male anatomy that, you know, it happens. My eyes see it. I'm a man. It happens. My eyes do that. Sorry. Moving over to the other knife, this is the Hogosha or Hogosha. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but when G says it, because he has a French accent, he calls it the Hogosha from Peter Rassenti. And I enjoy that very much, and so I'm going to say it just like that. This has an amazing tanto grind done by John Barker. John Barker is an amazing custom knife maker that, honestly, I don't know enough about to do him justice in this video, and I need to go learn more about it. And so I'm going to do that, but I have a limited amount of time with which to make these videos, and I really wanted to get this one on. What I've been in love with is the way that this tanto blade looks. It's just so cool to me. Huge hollow grind right here. Very large edge, secondary bevel out there at the tip. Very, very cool swedge up top. It's got a very Japanese style look to it, but also tactical. It's very cool, and I enjoy it a lot. This one has a simpler pivot, very, very smooth, great detent just like the other. Very similar overall handle milling. Peter is amazing at the way that he can make these handles so comfortable, and then his standard pocket clips. So these knives are absolutely beautiful. I wish that I had more time to show you more about them, but they are so cool. Very happy that I could get these in hand. Very, very big thank you to Greg. Check him out on Instagram. He goes by @100proofedge. Very nice guy. Thank you so much for sending these along, and thank you to Peter Rassenti for making some of the very coolest knives in the world. I'm very thankful to have a couple of them in my collection. I'm very thankful to have met him in real life at the Blade Show. I can tell you he is a good guy and he makes a great product. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Head over to Instagram and check me out as Dr. Frunkey over there. And as always, guys, take care.